Myth. You need a credit card to rent a car or make a purchase online or by phone. Surely by now you know that is a myth. Because you know you could use what? A debit card. That's right. I carry 2 debit cards, one on my personal account, one on my business account. I travel more than any 2 of you put together. I've been to Europe. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Mexico. They take the Visa debit card. Shut up. You can do everything you can do with a debit card except go in debt that you can do with a credit card. Well, if they take money out of your account, it's gone. No, it's not. They have to put it back. Visa has a 0 liability policy for debit and credit cards when your Visa card is used as a debit card or a credit card. Now, if you punch in a PIN number, it becomes an ATM. But if you just swipe your debit card just like someone else would do a credit card, you have the exact same protections, 100% protection on your account according to Visa's website. Look it up. That's what it says. So don't let people lie to you and tell you the debit card has more risk. Sometimes it's a little less convenient because you can't buy things if you don't have the money. Something to think about. The credit card industry last year had 6,000 issuers of credit cards, and credit card consumers to those 6,000 issuers paid $90 billion a year in penalties and fees, according to a Newsweek study. Wow. So the debit card will do everything the old credit card will do. This is how this works.
Maybe you've heard that a debit card doesn't have the same protection as a credit card. Well, it actually does if you use it in the right way. Next time you're at the register, pay attention to the options. You can run your debit card as a debit or as a credit. If you run it as a debit by entering your PIN number, the store automatically connects to your bank and takes the money out. So it just goes from point A to point B. And if there's a problem, it's up to you to figure it out. But if you run it as credit, Visa, MasterCard, or American Express becomes the middleman in your transaction. So why does that matter? Well, that means all of a sudden you get Visa's full protection against any fraudulent charges. So it's like you get the protection of a credit card without going into any of that nasty debt. So remember, when you run your debit card, run it as a credit. That way you get the same protection as a credit card, even though you're using a debit card.
Myth. I pay my credit card off every month with no annual payment or no fee. I get brownie points, air miles, and a free hat. I'm beating the credit card company up. Oh, you are you? Well, the truth is that when you spend cash, you spend 12 to 18% less than when you spend with a credit card. When you spend with a credit card, you spend 12 to 18% more than you do any other way. Think about it. Cash hurts, doesn't it? You get ready to go buy a stereo and you hand them these things, you have an ouchie moment. But if you just put this up there, you're like, no, put it on this one. And they go, well, this one doesn't work. Okay, put it on this one. That one doesn't work. Okay, put it on this one. And you just keep trying till you get one. But you do not register any pain. When you spend cash, it hurts, and you spend 12 to 18% less than when you spend on plastic. Just think about it. When you go out to eat, McDonald's found this. And that's why they started taking plastic. Nightline did a report on McDonald's deciding to take plastic. McDonald's average ticket prior to going to plastic was, it's pretty interesting, it was $4.75 a ticket. When they started taking plastic, it went to $7. That's a 47% increase. And you know why? You want fries with that? Sure. I'll take the big Coke, I'll take the extra apple pie, and I'll pay for his. Just put it on this. Will that be cash? Yes, sir. And you're on your own. Because cash hurts, doesn't it? So you go out to eat, and they bring that little black tray, with the bill on it. That's Uncle Benjamin Franklin's coffin. Because when you lay him on there, you know they're going to carry him off. And you know he's not coming back. See ya, Uncle Ben. You go down and you get ready to buy a really nice bedroom suit at the furniture store. You're looking at it going, Uncle Ben, we got to get a bedroom suit, man. It's been good. We'll see you. Because if you carry Uncle Ben around a while, he becomes part of the family. And when you spend him, it feels like you're putting him out for adoption. That's how it feels, isn't it? It really does hurt. Now, I've been quoting that story for many, many years, and an interesting thing came up in Carnegie Mellon magazine. Let me tell you what this says in here. It says they did research on the neurological impact of big purchases. They hooked up an MRI to several participants. They watched their brainwave activity when they spent money with an MRI. In just a recent article right here. Guess what they found? When people spend cash, it neurologically registers as pain. When they spend plastic, the pain is reduced substantially when it's a debit card. When it's a credit card, it's really reduced. Because with a debit card, we at least associate it with cash that's in the bank somewhere, right? Because our mind is not being tricked by this. So we have to be very, very careful. But Dave, I get airline miles. Great. Have you ever tried to cash those in? Jupiter has to be aligned with Mars, and you have to sit in the back with the cattle. Oh, well, I really get to use mine. Really? Consumer Reports just did a study that says 75% of the airline miles are never redeemed. And we spend a lot of our time out there buying stuff on a card trying to get our airline miles up. And 75% of them are never redeemed. Yeah. Hey, and you know, there's some cool stuff coming. The things are changing, aren't they? They're moving quickly away from the magnetic stripe, and now there's chips in the cards, and it's the new RFID technology. So it's going to be a wave instead of a swipe. And what they're already finding is that when you wave instead of swipe, you spend another 8 to 12% more. And all technology is not evil, but what you always have to do is you have to think, when this technology changes or my method of payment changes, is it affecting my behavior pattern? Because it usually is, and the people doing it have an agenda. They're trying to get you to spend more because they make more when you spend more. So utilize the technology, but be very wary. Be a little bit with a healthy level of paranoia about it. Cynicism. I've kind of got the gift of cynicism. So credit cards, I need a credit card to exist? I don't think so. That's a myth. All right. Myth. I'll make sure my teenager gets a credit card so he or she can learn to be responsible with money. I'm going to send them off to school, and they got to have something to protect them. Problem is this, teenagers and kids are now the #1 target of credit card companies across America today. And the reason is this. Well, they've given you guys about all the cards they can give you. The market's saturated. But what they're discovering is brand loyalty to your first card is incredible. And I've discovered this to be true. The very first person who gives you a credit card, you'll keep that one forever. It's like an old boyfriend's number.
Have you ever heard anyone tell you to get a credit card so you can build your credit? A lease is the best way to buy a car, or you have to get a student loan to go to college. None of these are true, but they're accepted as truth all across America. Americans are drowning in debt. Guess who the #1 target of credit card companies is today? You. The credit card industry has saturated the adult market, and they're now coming after you. Did you know that the number of credit card solicitations you will receive your first semester in college is between 25 and 50? This isn't a game, folks. Don't borrow money. It's dangerous. It's a loaded gun. Be careful.
What I do is I see people, I'm up front cutting up cards, and then I'll look at them and go, okay, where's the other one? How'd you know? Well, I've had this one since college. And they get it out, and it's this old worn-out looking credit card. It ain't even been updated, but they've had it forever, and it's like an old friend. Isn't it amazing? It's like a 4-year-old with a security blanket. We're very, very loyal to our very first credit card issuer, and so they all work really hard to be our very first credit card issuer. So they're on campus, and they set up tables with free T-shirts, free hats, and a free pizza, don't they? And many a college student in here right now, or former college student in here right now, has traded their financial soul for a dad-blame T-shirt. And we all know we did it. Well, I'll pay. I won't use it. I'm just getting the shirt. I'm just getting the 10% off. It'll never happen to me. You're playing with a multi-billion-dollar company. They don't make mistakes in marketing. You know, you may occasionally win that battle, but most of the time, they're coming to get you. It's not a game. And they're going younger and younger and younger and younger. The game of life now takes Visa. Visa takes life. You can't live life without Visa. What a great marketing message. And the sad thing is, deep down in our souls, we really believe we can't have a life if we don't have a Visa. That's a broken concept. I'm not mad at Visa. Again, I'm in awe of the excellence of their marketing.
Credit card companies market to teens for a couple of reasons. One is they pretty well saturated the adult market. They put out their 6 billion credit card offers a year in and year out for many years. And so lots of the adults have got, well, more than enough credit cards. The main reason, though, that they go after teenagers is they have found a thing called brand loyalty. What they found is the first credit card company that gives you a credit card, you tend to be very loyal to them, because they treated you like an adult, and you kind of like, well, this was my first card, and you keep it around like an old boyfriend's phone number or something in case the other relationship doesn't go well. And it's crazy. But we emotionally hang on to our first card. There's tremendous brand loyalty. So they fight very hard. They spend a lot of dollars and a lot of effort to be your very first credit card.
It's a brand war, just like Papa John's and Domino's and Pizza Hut. It's a brand war, or Pepsi and Coke. It's a brand war, right? And they're fighting for that market share tooth and nail, and they're spending big bucks to do it, and they're starting to train children. It's called kiddie branding. We found this a couple of years ago. This little baby is Barbie, cool shopping Barbie. Now, I had girls at my house, and so we're not mad at Barbie. We have Barbie and Barbie parts all over our house. We kind of like Barbie. We wish she'd eat a little better, but we kind of like Barbie, you know. So. But I had a real problem with Cool Shopping Barbie, because Cool Shopping Barbie came out with a little MasterCard taped to her hand, and of course included in the kit is a full-size MasterCard. This particular product by Mattel was sponsored by MasterCard. So what's the message here? If you're 3 or 4 years old, 5 years old, and you're playing with Barbies and you want to be pretty and cool when you're shopping and you're cool, what do? You don't use Discover. You don't use American Express. You use MasterCard. That's what cool people do. That's the message, isn't it? And it's drilled home and drilled home and drilled home and drilled home. By the way, this little thing came with no cash. And here's what's sickening. Here's what we're training our 4-year-olds. Listen, this is how you know you're cool, right here. Listen. Credit approved. You airhead. Sad thing is, this is having an effect on our youngsters. Junior Achievement did a study called The Case for Economic Education and discovered 2 things. More young adults filed bankruptcy than graduated from college last year. And colleges are telling them in this same study over and over and over that they're losing more students to credit card debt problems than they are to academic failure. You get your credit cards up, you got to go get a job and pay them. You quit school and come home, which, by the way, activates your student loans 6 months later, and you don't have an education to get the better job to be able to pay the student loans. There's a cycle here that's really got socioeconomic impact. It's a real problem. We, the consumer, have to wake up and say, you know, I'm thinking maybe no. There's an idea. Just something to think about.